Hello everyone, this is Shiv Prem, a legal intern at Lexis & Company and currently pursuing BLLB honors from Central University of South Bihar. In today's session, I will be dealing with the topic sexual harassment. This topic will also be covered in two parts. In the first part, I will be going to the sexual harassment and further the what are considered to be the sexual harassment and what are not considered to be harassment. Further, in the second video, I will be going through the list of laws which deals with the sexual harassment. Now, let us start our first video with the term sexual harassment. This is a type of harassment involving the use of explicit or implicit sexual overtone, including the unwelcome or inappropriate promise of rewards in exchange for sexual favor. Sexual harassment is an unwanted intrusion of a sexual nature within the personal space of a private. Although an outsized proportion of the complaints are by women, harassment is not limited to women alone. Men and youngsters also face harassment, but the proportion of girls who survive harassment is astounding. Some studies show that each Indian woman faces some kind of harassment at some point in her life. This harassment can occur at the workplace, at a public place, or maybe at the individual's home. It is often through leading, lead, lead words or songs, grouping during a public place, molestation, sexual innuendos, or rape. Sexual harassment may be a subjective experience. This suggests that choosing whether or not a situation amount to harassment. It's the impact of the harassment on the survivor that matters, and not the intent of a person accused of the harassment. So let us see some points where which are considered to be sexual harassment, like making unwelcome sexual advances, whether or not accompanied by promises or threats, making sexually suggestive remarks on hints, making offensive remarks or jokes such as teasing related to a personal bodies or appearance, creating a hostile, intimidating, or offensive work environment to elect the sexual favors, putting inappropriate questions, suggesting or remarks about the personal sex life, displaying sexist or other offensive pictures, posters, MMS, SMS, WhatsApp, or email, making unwelcome social invitations with sexual overtones, commonly understood as flirting, making unwelcome physical contact such as touching or pinching, caressing, kissing, or fond- fondling someone against the person's will, staking a person, abusing authority to threaten a person's job or underline performance against sexual favors, falsely accusing and undermining a person behind closed doors for sexual favors. Not all offensive behaviors amount to sexual harassment, and an act is not harassment only because it offends the recipient. The act itself must be unjustified. Any harassment is a harassment only if it conveys a sexual undertone. Otherwise, it's going to be punishable under the law but not as harassment. Like some indicative examples of acts which aren't harassment, like physical assault with no sexual connotation, which is punishable in a court, harsh work-related communications, for instance, meeting deadlines or quality standards, not punishable unless it's violating the labor laws of the country. Constructive feedback about the mistakes made by a person is not punishable. Most women in India are taught to ignore the sexual harassers. In India, the practicality still remains keep quiet and move on unless and until it becomes a hazard for you to ignore it anymore. Also, A complaint against a sexual harasser results in inquisitive and sexist questions by the police and the judgment by the society. Most of the time, albeit you are taking the pains to truly undergo the whole process, unless the evidence is so damaging that the courts cannot ignore it. The accused is let free. The police machinery and therefore the courts have filed many ladies wanting justice. What is needed is change, taken to instill perspective and fear of the law among these criminals. There are many legal provisions under the Indian law to assist a victim fight against harassment, depending on the character of the harassment. The subsequent are the legal provisions regarding harassment and assault. Some of these provisions are available to both men and ladies, while some are some are made to specifically protect the interests of women. Certain rights are inalienable from a human being and are granted by birth. The Protection of Human Rights Act 1993 defines human rights as the rights related to life, liberty, equality, and dignity of the individual, which are guaranteed by the Constitution or embodied in various international conventions, which are enforceable in the courts in India. Right to life with dignity forms a part of human rights, and sexual harassment is breach of the right to live with dignity. Article 15, Clause 3 of the Indian Constitution states that nothing shall prevent a state from making a special provisions for women and children. This empowers a state to create positive discrimination with regards to women and children for their upliftment. However, provisions existed in various laws for the protection of women from various forms of sexual harassment. Let us see some laws in the next session which are available in our country India. So that's all for now. Let us meet in the next session. Thank you, and please do like and subscribe this channel.